up on the mountain. If you only come by, we will surrender to you. And after some, convincing, they managed to talk this patrol into believing him and took him down to talk to intelligence, and then went up to the mountain to the chalet to get von Braun and Dornberger and some of the key people.
At Peenemünde on the Baltic coast and Nordhausen in central Germany, the equivalent of a pushing and shoving match broke out among Allied intelligence services. The Peenemünde archive, 14 tons of technical documents hidden in a mine before Germany's collapse, were located by U.S. Army intelligence and trucked out of what had in fact become the British zone of occupation.
In many cases, they're working together, they're forming joint teams, they're sharing material. In other cases, the two sides are stealing from each other. In this case, it appears that they swiped these out from under the noses of the British.
The rationale was to deny the technology to everyone, especially the Soviets, who were viewed with suspicion. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away in the Pacific, the brutal fight for Okinawa hastened the creation of Project Overcast, the temporary exploitation of German weapons specialists in the effort against Japan.
There was actually discussion of using V-1s and V-2s to bombard Japan. There was a hope that certain, advanced technologies could be quickly exploited. And then suddenly the war was over and the rationale for Project Overcast was undercut. But it went ahead anyway.
Aboard the USS Missouri, the ink on the instruments of surrender was barely dry when an airplane carrying Wernher von Braun touched down at Fort Bliss, Texas in September 1945. Amid the cactus and sagebrush, the U.S. Army was taking a cram course in ballistic missiles in German.
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent.
The Russians came in and took some scientists. And they didn't come as soldiers, they came as civilians and kidnapped people. We were really afraid.
To the U.S. government, Soviet intentions far outweighed any questions, legal or otherwise, about the status of German engineers. In March 1946, Project Overcast gave way to Project Paperclip, an expanded program to get more of the precious Germans into the United States. Hans Amtmann, an aeronautical engineer during the war, was among those brought over under the terms of temporary limited military custody.
Members of the Nazi Party who were active members of the Nazi Party or in the SS or in the SA couldn't come over. So they had to be denazified. Some of the top